Hey there YouTube, it's me, TFR Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the first of this month's Korean toy reviews. Now, obviously I've done a lot of small stuff recently, but I'm happy to say to you that I am back onto the big boys. I'm back onto the big toys. Yes, this month I bought two large Korean figures because my, I'm back to, well, technically I've got rid of that budget limitation with that pre-order payment for my Legacy Evolution Nemesis, and so I can afford to buy the big figures as I did this month. Now I've ordered two figures and they just come in and yesterday, and I am filming this on Thursday the 10th of August, the day before TF Nation, and this video will be going up live during TF Nation on the Saturday morning at 9:30. So if you're at TF Nation, you're watching this video, hopefully and you're enjoying yourself. And I will be bringing this and the other Korean toy that I have got this month along with me to the convention if anybody wants a look at them. So, without that said, let's have a look at the figure I've got. Let's start off with the box. Now, Tobot has rebooted itself, kind of. It's done a soft reboot, or it's like a continuation of the previous series with the new 2023 series. They started off with the three basic, characters and bots. You've got X, Y, and Z. I've already done a review on Tobot X, and he's kind of okay. But then I decided to skip Y and go straight to Z or Z. So obviously. I've had some comments on some people saying I should review this box because it's really good, and let's have a look at it, shall we? So here's the box, the new the Tobot 2023 boxes. You've got a picture of Dylan or whatever his Korean name is there, and you've got Tobot Z in his licensed Hyundai Staria. Because also I'm looking on the back of the box. So it's the new Tobot packaging. You've got Tobot X, Tobot Y, and Tobot Z on the side here. And then you look on the back. Now, you've got him in his signature in a box pose on the back of the box. Now, the original Tobot Z is one of the only figures in the entire Korean toy line that I've bought that can actually pull off the box art pose. Now, the original Tobots, you can pull off the box art pose, and I wanted to see if this guy can do it. So on the thumbnail of this video, I tried to recreate this box art pose. He can't quite pull it off. The joints and his bulk don't allow him to get into quite the shapes that he's showing here. But still, you look on the back of the box. You show Tobot Z in his robot mode. You've got his alt mode, and then you've got the little Coroid. This little robot dude that his core's mounted in, and then it comes out and forms a little robot. And then you've got Z on the side. And then, of course, you've got all the relevant product information on the bottom if you're interested in that sort of thing. So, yeah. So, here he is in his alt mode. And as I said, it's a licensed Hyundai Staria. Which is like a new sort of people carrier, I believe. I'm not sure whether this is a hybrid or an electric vehicle. In the show, when he's driving around, he's making sort of electric noises. So I suppose it's an electric vehicle. It's a pretty cool looking vehicle when you look around it. The only thing, and this is one of my few gripes for this figure, is it's got these ugly, sort of sticky outy hinges on the side of the vehicle mode, like Studio Series 86 Ironhide. It's got these somewhat ugly and obtrusive hinge pocket hinges sticking out the side. Pity it's got that, but apart from that, the rest of the vehicle mode's really good. It's not necessarily a one-to-one scale model of the real world vehicle. It's a little bit sort of squished and chibified or toyified if you like, but actually out of the free sort of Tobot free figures that they did for the Wave 1, this one looks the most realistic, I think, out of the three. It's got quite large wheels which spin really well. It's got sort of a few sort of hinges on the roof which aren't too bad. It's got like the aerial on the back. You go around the back. Obviously, hasn't really got any painted light detail, but it's got, you know, Tobot Z there and a Hyundai badge, or should I say Hyundai? Don't fall into that trap. Yeah, so Hyundai badge, and yeah, it's a really heavy, chunky vehicle mode, and it rolls extremely well with these wheels. And like I said, apart from these ugly hinges sticking out the side, it's a pretty good looking alt mode. Now, transformation. This guy's got a very fun and intuitive transformation, and I will do it for you now. So to start off with, you pull these side panels out, like so. You do it on that side as well. Pull the side panel, pull that round. Make use of those big ugly hinges. And then when we're making a start on things, now you can separate the roof. Just just pull it the roof up like that. Then you can sort of go down to the legs. Now legs are pretty cool because you've got the tailgate of the vehicle that folds back and plugs in. Then you go underneath. You've got the feet. You've got these little heel spurs, or these little heel pieces that you just fold out like that. Then you pull these panels here, pull out the feet, and then you pull round the feet, the toes, and that's the feet done. Then you just split the legs and bring them out a few clicks to give him a neutral A stance. Then you move up to the torso. Now the roof section is on these sort of like butterfly joints that sort of come out like that, and they come round, and then you just bring them round and down like that. Now you've got these bits on his arms. You've got these like little hinge pockets, these double hinges, but they sort of click across. So you bring it down on the double hinge, and then you click it across, and you the arms again, you bring this roof piece out on the double hinge, and then click it across, and then you fold that back, and they sort of rest together like that. And then on the arm, you fold that forwards, and then you sort of lift the arm out, bring it back on a double hinge, and then plug it into place behind his wrist. And then on the other side, do the same. Pull the panel out, slide it across, bring it up on the double hinge, pull the panel out, slide it across, and then click it into place. And then the elbow, spin the elbow around. This panel here, pull it out, hinge it back, and then plug it in. And then you've got these little thrusters on the back. You can just pull out like that, and then you just bring his head forwards, and there we have him, Tobot Z in his robot mode. And looks pretty good. Very beefy, very chunky robot. Looks pretty good. I really like his look. Obviously looks pretty close to his box art or his show design. Aesthetically, he looks really cool. He's got the front of the vehicle as his chest. They didn't bother to paint the headlights though, because in the show, his headlights have got like little sort of like LEDs inside them, so that they could have touched them in with a little bit of paint, I suppose. Oh yeah, I forgot to collapse the wheels into his waist. Yeah, so aesthetically he looks really good. I mean, he's got the big Z on his belt there. He's got the two Z's or Z's into the side of his helmet on his head. So obviously the front of the car forms the chest. You've got the roof forms the shoulders, and around the back of the arms, going down to the legs. It's got some chunky sort of leg detail with some kneecaps. Very short sort of thighs on it. But really, I mean, he has got very, very chunky proportions, but he has got a useful amount of articulation joint, so he can, he can perform some shapes. Though his bulk and some of the joints don't quite move far enough to, to give him the full, raft of articulation that you would like to see on a figure such as this. Talking of articulation, let's have a look at it, shall we? So, you've got the his head can turn like that. And it also can sort of bend back as well as part of the transformation. Shoulders move out to there, so you can do a T pose on a nice ratchet, and the shoulders go round on another ratchet, soft ratchet. He's got bicep swivels, which is nice. Elbow joint that sadly doesn't quite go to 90 degrees because of these roof panels on his arm. Doesn't quite make it, so again his bulk is hindering his articulation a little bit. He does have a waist joint. It's not required for transformation, so that's a proper waist joint. It's a bit ratchety. It's got a soft ratchet, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's got 9 detents. Now moving down to the hips. Full Van Damme. Now when you're moving the legs forwards, the roundness of his thighs and the size of the shape of his waist, they tend to push outwards a little bit when you go to the full extension. You can more or less do a full forward kick and more or less all the way back. It has got thigh swivels, though it's not ratcheted, it's just a friction joint, but it's got a nice motion to it. Knees go back to pretty much 90 degrees, and then his feet, like I said, he's got a cut on his feet like usual, Korean toy, that gives him a neutral A stance when you're standing down on something. And because of the heel supports that he's got that you flick out, he's very, very stable on his feet. You can just plonk him down, he just stays there. Pretty good looking bot. Now there is one other feature on this guy. All the Tobots from Tobot 2023 have a new sort of gimmick or feature, if you can call it that. It's kind of like a headmaster gimmick. Now the little robot inside, although that's the head sculpt of him in his Tobot mode, you can pull him out, and then you bring his arms round, and then you open his helmet, flick his face sculpt round, bring it down, and there's in his choroid, as they're called, a little core bot. So yeah. So obviously he has a new face plate. He's got little arms. You go around the back, he's got some little ball joint on his shoulders, so he gives him a little bit of motion on his arms. They've got like a backwards butterfly joint, so they can sort of spin round a little bit. The feet, they just bend backwards, again for for the transformation. But apart from that, he looks pretty cool. Now, that's pretty much the toy sorted. Before I wind off, just a few extra things. Size comparison. Obviously, I like to do my size comparisons. I use Combined Wars Megatron as my size comparison with large Korean toys, because he's a full-size leader class toy. And just give me a moment. And you put him next to him, and he's not quite leader class scale, but he does have an awful lot of bulk. You can see how much wider and chunkier this guy is than Megatron. I mean, he's got a lot of weight to him. He's very, very chunky. He's nice and solid. There's no loose joints on him. He's very chunky and tactile to move around. He's a pretty cool figure. And as for the show, the rebooted show, the Tobot 2023 show, I have been watching. Episodes of it are on YouTube. They're all in Korean. There's no English double sub, even though somebody is doing a subtitled version of the episodes, though the subtitles aren't perfect, but they do sort of give you the gist of what's going on. I'm really enjoying the Tobot 2023 show, especially the story development and arc of Tobot Z, because he gets injured in a fight early in the series, where he gets hit in the chest and it damages his core and his choroid. And then they look at it and they realise it's been cracked, and if he goes into battle or into combat with these bad robots that they're fighting, then he might get permanently damaged, or his core might get destroyed, and all his memories will just dissipate, and then they'll lose him completely. So they sideline him, and he gets really frustrated and confused. He's getting really angry because the other Tobots are going out and doing their bit, fighting the good fight, and he's just left behind, and it's really annoying him. And his partner kid Dylan, or I don't know what his Korean name is, he just keeps palming him off because he doesn't want Tobot Z to get hurt. And then you have the kid next door. What's his name? Hansoon. He's like a kid who likes playing football. Unfortunately, he's broken his leg and he couldn't go to football camp with the rest of the kids, so he's stuck back home, and he's like really depressed. And then he sort of finds that discovers that this Tobot Z is parked up outside, in the street outside his house, and he realizes that he's a talking car, and then he puts two and two together and realizes he's Tobot Z, because of something he says. He says that thing, or so I heard. He keeps saying that thing at the end of his sentences, and it's just really, really cool. And Hansun gets to know Tobot Z, and then they have this they have these secret sort of drives where he gets in and goes out for a drive, and when he comes back, he's trying to. And then Hansun goes to live with Limo and Dylan, and it's really, really funny. And eventually, they do get into a fight with a big bulldozer bot, and then Tobot Z does goes into action. But to get him to transform, it's Dylan and Hansun have to sort of go Tobot Z transformation. They have to get him to transform together, and it's quite interesting. And then they have to repair his core. They have to break it up and save all the little core material that comes out. And he's got a really good story arc. I'm really enjoying what they're doing with this guy. I'm enjoying the new Tobot series all in. Hopefully they'll do a proper English dub of it sometime, but it'd be a long time before that happens. But I am enjoying the show so far. The only thing is they've got those new characters, the SOS characters. You've got that police car, that ambulance, and that fire engine that form a combiner. And the combiner, the individual bots are a bit small and basic, and then you get the combiner who's got fused legs. He's got no articulation on the legs, and it's like, yeah, I'm not really into that. But these guys are all right. These new Tobot 2023 figures are actually okay. I've got Tobot X. He's pretty good, but I'm really liking this guy. Apart from a few minor gripes, like those ugly hinges on his alt mode, he's a pretty solid, decent looking bot. He's got more articulation than any Korean toy should have. He's got way more articulation than Tobot X. I mean, Tobot X hasn't got thigh swivels, or bicep swivels, So he's got, and I don't know whether he's even got a waist joint, So yeah, he's got a lot going on. He's a really chunky bot. He's nice and cool to play with, and yeah, I really like this guy. He's really, really cool. I will be getting Tobot Y at some point, maybe next month. I don't know. There's another toy line that's piquing my interest at the moment, and I'll be doing a review on that figure next week from that toy line. But for now, Tobot Z from the new Tobot 2023 line. He's really, really good. I thoroughly approve of him. He's an awesome figure. He's a great character in the show, and he's a really cool toy. And that's been my review of this guy. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Obviously this will be going live at TF Nation, so hello if you're at TF Nation. Hopefully you're enjoying the convention so far. I will be bringing this toy along and the other Korean toy. So if you want a hands-on with this guy, then come up to me, and I'll let you have a look at it, so you can feel what a Korean toy is like in person. And that's it. I've been TFR Wilderness. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da.